What up guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright, so today I'm going to be going over my first attempt at the new game mode, Apocalyptic Shadow. And I actually found this game mode to be quite easier in difficulty compared to that of Pure Fiction and Memory of Chaos. I actually could have cleared the 4th stage within one attempt, but I made a few misplays that I found kind of irritating and would have made the video kind of scuffed. So I decided to do a few more attempts, not too many, it didn't take that long, to finally get a reasonable attempt. So in this game mode, you get 2 bosses. First half is Cacalia, second half is Argenti. Let me go over my first team for the first half. For the first half, I used my Acheron team featuring Acheron, Silverwolf, who has made a return, Bronya, and Fu Xuan. As for the buff, I used this one here. Increases damage dealt by all allies' ultimates, and after defeating an enemy target, the attacker action is advanced forward by 25%. Obviously, this one's really good for Acheron. For the second half, I used my Imbibitor Lunane team, featuring Imbibitor Lunane, Ruan Mei, Sparkle, and Gepard. I actually ended up replacing Ting Young because I figured since Argenti has a weakness to ice, it doesn't show it up here. Oh, actually, it does here. He has a weakness to ice. I feel like Ruan Mei with the extra weakness break, since that's going to be a huge thing within at least this season of Apocalyptic Shadow. The ice weakness along with Gepard makes it a lot easier to deal with Argenti and his mobs. As for the buff, I chose this one. Increases all damage dealt by all allies' basic attack and skills by 50%. After defeating an enemy, it also advances forward the action of the attacker by 25%. Alright, and without further ado, as usual, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. Alright, for the first half, we start out with Fu Xuan's technique, Bronya's technique, and we initiate the fight with Acheron's technique. She's going to summon those annoying mobs, but they'll die very shortly here. Alright, first up is Silverwolf. I'm deciding which one to target here. I ended up going for Gepard, I believe, here. Yes, so we get the 9 stacks. We're going to buff up Acheron, pop Bronya's ultimate as well. And here I actually want to use the skill first to pop my 4-piece prisoner set, even though it is kind of a waste. I lose that on 1 stack of the Crimson Nut or whatever, but it's fine. I'd rather get the additional crit rate and crit damage buff, as well as Acheron's signature Lycone. You deal more damage or you apply a debuff once you actually, hit something. Alright, here we're going to continue to focus down Gepard, although here I make the decision to attack Cacalia because I actually want the defense down debuff on her instead of Gepard, because Gepard here is going to die very shortly once Acheron pops her ultimate. Or at least he should die. If he doesn't, then he's a little bit too tanky. So here's Acheron's ultimate. Bam, 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 he's already dead. Rest of the damage goes on to Cacalia. And then we need to weakness break her here shortly, before she gets off. I think she still gets off her ultimate. Or actually, no she doesn't. No, she won't. She's about to get weakness broken here. And then for this season, you get your energy back as well as some skill points. So we're going to Bronya ult into Silverwolf ult into Acheron's ult. And I believe this should finish her off. You get quite a bit of a damage boost once the enemy's weakness broken. Alright, there you go. On to the second phase. And there's Cacalia. Holy god. There's her second form. A little bit less appealing, but still nevertheless a very dangerous enemy. Here we're going to advance forward Acheron again. With Fu Xuan here, the damage from the little icicles don't really do much. Here, I think I just hit the quantum weak one. Now I'm going to pop Acheron's ultimate, and this should kill off all of the little icicle mobs, and it shouldn't be an issue. And once they all die, or each of them that gets destroyed takes a bit off the toughness bar of Cacalia. Bronya's going to advance forward Acheron again. She's going to try to freeze Acheron, but thanks to Fu Xuan, that's not happening. We're gonna advance forward Acheron, pop the Bronya ultimate. Unfortunately, I don't think this is gonna be enough to weakness break Kakali completely, so she's going to, unleash her ultimate attack. It does a little bit, quite a bit of damage, but like I said, Fu Xuan's able to help us tank the majority of the hit without dying. Yeah, brings Fu Xuan below 50%, she heals up. Unfortunately, she gets imprisoned, but Kakali is really close to getting weakness broken, so it doesn't really matter that much. And she ends up waking up anyways. Refresh the Matrix. Bronya's gonna buff up. Acheron, and here I should pop all the ultimates. Fu Xuan's ultimate. Followed by Silverwolf's ultimate. And then into Acheron's ultimate. Here I actually made a small mistake. I should have waited. Once I weakness broken the Kakali enemy, I should have waited, popped Bronya ult, Silverwolf ult, and then Acheron ult. But it didn't matter, we ended up one-shotting her anyways. And that's the first half with 36k. Or 3600. Second half is Sparkle technique, Ramei technique, Japar technique, and we initiate the fight with Imbibitor Lunane's technique. He's gonna summon the annoying swords, which you do want to focus down. Or at least if you have a blast attack, at least try to slowly AoE them down, because as you can see, the damage isn't insane, but the hits do get annoying after a while. Alright, we're going to advance forward Lunane here. We're going to target Argenti because, the blast from the cone is able to weakness break the sword to the side anyways, along with the chained ultimate. Should easily finish it off. This half would have been a lot more difficult for me particularly if they didn't add the imaginary weakness to Argenti. I feel like they did that just so a lot of players who don't have access to the other elemental weaknesses have a better chance. So like if you have Doctor Ratio, it would make this half a lot easier to deal with, because there's also I believe a follow-up attack buff as one of the buffs. So if you run your follow-up attack team with Doctor Ratio, this half is actually doable. Other than that, people who don't have Doctor Ratio, well, good luck, I guess. You probably need Firefly or Boot Hill to brute force this, or not brute force, just beat the second half. Alright, his weakness is locked again, but once we clear out one of the swords, that's what you need to do. You need to at least kill off one of the swords, and then his weakness will be unlocked again. So now his weakness broken, we got all the ultimates up. We're gonna pop him. Funny thing is, I actually don't really have that bad of a skill point issue here, so we just end up popping Sparkle's ultimate. I say that, but later we get into a skill point issue, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. Compared to a normal run, usually, I'd be struggling with skill points, so I would actually have to save Sparkle's ultimate for the extra skill points. But here we're just using it for the bonus damage for Lunane. Gonna advance forward Lunane again. And with this, we only used a double enhanced basic attack because I kind of knew that the damage was more than enough. The boss takes a lot of damage, by the way, when their weakness broken, so that's basically the main takeaway of this season of Apocalyptic Shadow. You just have to weakness break the enemy. Right here, Argenti becomes actually untargetable, so you have no choice but to focus down his little sword shield thingies. Here we're gonna just basic attack with Ramei. He's gonna do his AoE, does like little to no damage because Japar is very tanky. We're gonna pop Lunane's ultimate here. Now he's actually targetable, thank god. So we hit Argenti. Here's a really annoying part. I believe one of the swords taunts. Yeah, the one to the very right. So I'm kind of forced to attack that one. So a lot of the damage, unfortunately, is wasted and mitigated by that shield. Gonna advance forward again. Japar's taunted as well. Luckily, Lunane is no longer taunted. We're taunted here, and I saw that I needed to refresh the Ramei tech or skill or whatever. Here we actually ran out of skill points, unironically. We can only use the level 2 enhanced basic attack, but it's still enough to give us enough energy to chain it into an ultimate. Gives us a shield into a level 3 enhanced basic. He's almost fully weakness broken, which is nice. If I had the choice here, I obviously would hit Argenti, but once again, I don't know why we're still taunted by that annoying shield. So Japard has to hit it. Ranmei's gonna smack it here. And here, I probably should have advanced forward, Lunane, even though I had only one skill point. Because I think the level 1 enhanced basic here was, yeah, it was enough to weakness break Argenti, and that would have triggered the buff here, and everyone would have gotten their ultimate back up. So that's like one maybe minor small mistake I made, or misplay I made on this half, and we probably would have gotten maybe like 15 to 20 more points higher on the action value, but honestly, it doesn't really make much of a difference. That's like the only minor misplay I saw on this half. Japard's ultimate, kind of unnecessary at this point, since Argenti's gonna die here shortly once we advance forward Lunane. And there you go. That is the second half, and we cleared the second half with 3,500, 7,000 total. Okay, now to go over my characters and their gear, starting off with my Acheron. These are her stats. Her signature Lycone at S1. Traces are pretty much maxed out other than her basic attack. These are her relics. Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 2. Alright, moving on, Silverwolf has made her return. These are her stats. I somehow managed to actually get her speed to 160 and above, and I decided to go for a crit Silverwolf, which usually doesn't work, but it turned out to be okay thanks to the, crit rate buff Fu Xuan gives. Unfortunately though, I did have to give up a bit of her effect hit rate, but I wasn't really relying on the weakness implant as much, so as long as she got the defense down from her ultimate, that was more than enough for me. Light Cone is before the tutorial mission starts at S5. Traces are almost maxed out. I might do this attack node. I actually think it might be worth it, especially if I plan to build, which I have been building, a sub DPS Silverwolf, whether it be based off of crit rate or the break effect Silverwolf, which is much easier to build. I don't know, I just like building crit Silverwolf. I feel like it feels more, it's not technically more consistent, I just feel like it does a little bit more damage overall. These are relics, a 4-piece musketeer set and a 2-piece broken keel. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, next is Lady Bronya. I managed to get her speed to 160, although her crit damage is definitely lower than the average Bronyas, but we ended up fixing that with 3 broken keel sets on this team, so in reality her crit damage is roughly around 198, close to 200. These are the rest of her stats. Lycone is her signature Lycone at S1. Traces, I do need to upgrade further, but for now, we're going to hold off on that until the next double drop event, like I usually say so. Relic sets, we got a 4-piece speed and a 2-piece broken keel, so there you go. Even though she has low base crit damage, or not base crit damage, just low crit damage in general, the broken keel sets from 3 of my characters end up helping out a lot. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 1. Alright, last on the first half is Fu Xuan. As you can see, her stats are a bit funky because I didn't have to, but I tried to force a broken keel set on her. So I did get enough effect resist, but at the cost of quite a bit of HP and defense, so she's less tankier and durable compared to normal Fu Xuan. And she also has the Trend of the Universal Market as her Lycone instead of the more tankier and consistent Japard Lycone, so I needed this mostly for Acheron procs. These are her traces. I probably should upgrade the skill and not skill and ultimate, the skill and talent, but we'll get to that. There's also free effect resist nodes here that I completely forgot about. As for relic set, she's on the 2-piece HP, 2-piece speed, and like I said before, a forced broken keel set. I feel like for this particular team, the crit damage is much needed compared to the attack percent from the usual Fleet of the Ageless set. As for Eidolons, she doesn't have any. Alright, on to the second half, starting off with my Imbibitor Lunane. These are his stats. Lycone is on the following Eon at S5. Traces are completely maxed out. For his relics, he's on a 2-piece Prisoner set, 2-piece Wastelander set, basically the attack and imaginary damage set, along with a Rutilant Arena set. As for Eidolons, he's at Eidolon 2. Alright, next is Ruan Mei, who is probably the most important support for this particular season of Apocalyptic Shadow, so make sure you guys pull for her if you don't have her already. These are her stats. Lycone is Memories of the Past at S2. Traces, I do need to eventually max out at least these three, the Talent, Skill, and Ultimate. Find them to be fairly important. For Relics, she's on a 4-piece Speed set and a 2-piece Broken Keel. I actually have really good Broken Keel pieces for her, but for the majority of the teams, Broken Keel is not the ideal set for her, but since I'm pairing her with a crit DPS, it's actually really good. Like, look at this piece. 25% break effect. That's actually pretty cracked. As for Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 0. Although I do wish I had her E1. Alright, next is Bronya 2.0. Just kidding, Sparkle is next. These are her stats. Once again, I have failed to give her enough effect resist for the Broken Keel set. So that is a bit unfortunate. Honestly, I prefer the 160 speed on her and the very high crit damage. I could get her to 30% effect resist, but it'd be at the cost of both of those stats. Her Lycone is Dance 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 at S4. I took it off of Ting Young. Sorry, Ting Young. These are her traces, also need to be worked on. Her Talent and Ultimate, I feel like, are definitely still worth maxing out. Relics, she's on a 4-piece Speed set and a 2-piece Broken Keel set, which actually does absolutely nothing, like I said before. She does not have enough of the fight resist, unfortunately. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, and finally, for the last team member of the second half, is Japar. These are his stats. Lycone is his signature Lycone at S1. These are his traces. I think I could probably put a little bit more investment for like the extra defense and effect resist, but I don't know, we'll see. And these are his relics. He's on the 4-piece Knight of Purity Palace set, as well as a Broken Keel set. As for Eidolons, he's at Eidolon 1. Okay guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you guys in my next Honkai Star Rail video. Peace.